Welcome everyone, this is Kathy from KathyFitPilates, part of Pilates with Kathy, and today is my next recipe for my 5-week challenge. This is French toast and omelettes. We will be using some Texas toast, about 6 to 8 slices you'll need. You'll need 2 eggs, we'll have to beat them slightly, and then we will add to them the following. 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can use sugar substitute if you need, and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. You have the option of adding nutmeg, ginger, allspice, or cloves to this as well. Lastly, 1 cup of milk. That can be dairy-free milk or regular milk, depending on what you can tolerate. I've got my griddle heated to medium high, about 350 to 375 degrees is good. So we will get started. Just going to beat these eggs nicely. Sometimes these yolks get pretty stubborn. See, those are a nice lemon yellow. Add my sugar and my spice. Just mix that together nicely. May look a little dry right now, but we're going to add the milk. That'll perk things up a bit. See, that's a nice brown color. Almost like a cinnamon roll. Add our milk. Just mix that in really well. That brightens it up a little bit. See how that lightened it up? From there, we'll take our toast and dip it in, making sure we coat it evenly. Our griddle is ready to go. Just going to dip this evenly on all sides. And we typically want to cook this until it's nice and golden brown on each side, about 3 to 5 minutes per side. Placing that on my griddle. Going with the next piece, we can place multiple on one griddle. I've got a large countertop griddle from the Oster Company. Just going to remove this. While these are cooking, I'll show you how we make the omelettes. I can probably fit one more on there. Using a little bit of the Dave's whole grain bread because I ran out of Texas toast. I've still got some mix here, so I want to use it up. So as soon as these come off, I'll get some more bread. Cleaning my hands a little bit. For the the omelets, we will be using a mix of different vegetables. I've got some bell peppers and some onions, and then over here I've got some Canadian bacon. That's a little meat to add to it. You can also add sausage links, Jimmy Dean. It typically takes about 3 eggs per omelet. I've got 6 in this bowl. I'm making 2 omelets. And we just want to beat these nicely. Just until they're a nice lemon yellow. Sometimes you have to push into the yolk because these yolks can get stubborn. All ready to go. We're just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. If you find that your shakers aren't putting enough in, you can always use teaspoon measurements and the salt from the... I'll open my window here. And a little pepper. And just mix that up really well. This adds just a little bit of flavor to the eggs. And if you want, you can add a little butter and milk if you want to fluff them up a little bit more. I'm not going to do that today. My French toast pieces are ready to turn. I have to grab a spatula. Oh, those look good. Some of them get a little overdone on the sides. I'm going to turn my griddle down a little bit. Grab a plate and put these on them. I'm going to add a few more bread slices since we have more mixture. About 4 more should do. And what I do is I put these in the oven on the keep warm function while I'm making the omelets so that they stay warm. See how these are looking? Need just a little bit more time. Meanwhile, I'll get our skillet ready for the omelets. I keep my skillet in the kitchen. No. I'm just going to spray this with some non-stick cooking spray. And you can use oil if you feel that that's better, that works better for you. Okay, these are ready to come off. I'm going to put these onto a plate and do my next ones. This French toast, by the way, is a family recipe. My mother came up with it. grab some of the spices from the edges. Let's take as much of the mixture as we can, use it up. We are ready to move on to omelets. I'll turn on my stovetop burner. Want it on about medium to medium low. So I'm going to put these French toasts in the oven, start our keep warm function. Before we put the eggs in, we want to saute the meat and the veggies first. I might add just a little bit of oil to the pan here. I'm just going to put the veggies on one side of the pan. Grab my oil. All ready to go. Now these will take about 1 to 2 minutes to get ready. We just want to brown them a little bit, saute. And then they grab some flavor when they go into the omelets. Ready to turn my French toast. My nephew is here again, so I'm hoping he'll like these. I really hope I haven't been boring you with stories about him. I'm going to take the temperature up a little bit here to medium high. These are taking a little longer than expected. Probably because my oil wasn't yet hot enough. Make sure your oil is hot before you put these in the pan. My French toast. These 2 slices need to cook a little bit more, these ones. Okay, these are starting to get turn brown now. They're reaching that fry point. You just want to keep stirring these around as they fry so that they don't get burned. You can add a little salt and pepper if you want a little more flavor. Unless you're someone who can't take a lot of salt. These gain enough flavor from the oil. And the bacon combined with the vegetables adds extra flavor as well. Okay, these are ready now. The French toast. I'll turn off my griddle. I'll just place these in the oven with the other ones. Now we can focus fully on our omelets. Afterwards, I'll show you the best way to serve this. These don't have to be very brown, just translucent. And if you want to make the omelets in the same pan, you can always move these off to one side, but that's if you have a big enough pan. My pan's not big enough for that, so I'm just going to move these to a plate or a bowl. We're ready to go with the eggs. Let's grab a bowl to place these in. My oil out of the way. I know I said in the recipe to wipe the skillet clean, but if you've got enough oil in there and you don't feel like you have to, that's fine. We're ready for the next step. Skillet's all nice and empty and ready to go. See our vegetables, nice and translucent. I'm going to spray my pan one more time. I'm going to turn this on to a low temperature to start. Pour about half of this mixture in. That's nice and bubbly. Just going to turn up the temperature. This should take a couple of minutes to fully brown on one side. And you should start to see some of the runniness to go off at the top as it starts to cook a little bit more. Just going to run my spatula around the edges so that this doesn't stick. I'll grab a smaller spatula. Took me a moment to find one. Okay, turn this temperature down a little bit because we're going to add the bell peppers and onion mixture. Just going to run the spatula around the edges here so that it doesn't get stuck. I'll just take a scoopful of this and add it to one side of the omelet. Move this out of the way. Bring my camera a little bit closer so you can see. Ham spray again. Turning my burner on low to start. Making sure you get all the egg out of the bowl. Use the whisk well to scrape it all out. Now we can turn up the temperature a little bit. Just going to wait for that to cook a little around the edges before I run the spatula. You just want to slowly poke it around. My edges are starting to cook a little bit more, so we're almost ready to go. So you want the edges to become a light yellow. That means no egg is running off the edge. And keeping your pan on a low enough heat is the key to keep this from sticking, as well as seasoning the grill. We are ready to add our mixture. Just a scoopful at a time on one side of the omelet. Just going to evenly spread this mixture. We're ready to Fold over, just grab one edge, just reach under and gently fold. Hold the seal. Grab my French toast here. Make sure you take a pot holder if you put this in your oven because it'll be hot. Grab another plate. Got it. I'm going to slowly slide the omelet onto the plate. Grab a piece of French toast. A couple slices of French toast here. And to garnish this, we'll add a couple strawberries. Some bananas. Add one more strawberry. And optional, you can add a couple pecans. But if you're allergic to nuts, you can leave them off. And there it is. French toast with strawberries and bananas and an omelet. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. This is your trainer Kathy at Pilates with Kathy. You have a wonderful day and enjoy your breakfast. Goodbye.